I question the magnitude and I question the duration of the Arctic air coming into Arkansas after Valentine's Day. What you're looking next to me is this morning. That is Kansas City, Missouri, from lifelong friend Ryan Hightower, snowing there as the cold air pours down the plains. This Arctic air mass coming in and colliding with some warmer and somewhat moist air towards the south. I'm going to get into the timing of the very cold temperatures and the timing of thunderstorms with this. Not everybody gets a thunderstorm. I'm going to go into that in just a second. But do you remember earlier in February, every single computer model was lining up showing that the cold was coming back right around Valentine's Day or a little bit after Valentine's Day, the cold was coming back. And I questioned the duration of it, the magnitude of it, because it was showing it lasting for a week or two. And we know that based on what happened in January and the past several decades, but what happens is these Arctic air masses come in, and then they may settle in for a while, but then they quickly move out and the air moderates. Look what happened in January where we were at 1 degree, and then a couple of weeks later we went up to 75 degrees. So here's what happened here. You remember that ridge in Alaska, and I didn't like what I was seeing with that ridge going back up towards Siberia because that was going to cut off the cold air and flood us with Pacific air. It's happening fast. So this cold air is not going to last long, even shorter than what I thought was going to happen, this cold air coming in. And it's not to the magnitude that I thought was going to happen. I'll admit that. So the cold air is coming, not lasting long at all, quick moderation in temperature. So what happens? Are we going to get any more winter? In my opinion, it's not over. I'm not surrendering yet with winter. It's February, and it's still mid-February. And you know, we've got about a month left where wild things can happen here in Arkansas. The model's already showing that the beginning of March and into the middle of March, cold air comes back in. I am looking at that with a tremendous amount of skepticism based on what has happened. I think there's a chance. So you're saying there's a chance. But I'm very hesitant about it. I looked at some of the overnight models, and it's already somewhat backing off on it a little bit. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen, but I'm very skeptical about it. I still think it could happen, but let's get into what's happening today and tomorrow because it's very important. There's actually a chance for a strong and perhaps severe thunderstorm, although that threat is very low. So here we go. All right, so this is the HRRR feels like temperature. So this is what it's going to feel like at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The Arctic air starts to move into northern Arkansas. Feels like temperatures in the 20s and 30s. Ahead of it, 60s and 70s. Spring is in the air, sort of. All right, so this is let's see, I'll do the math. 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That cold, shallow air coming through the Ozarks. It takes its sweet time, doesn't it? 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I think between 4 and 6 o'clock in central Arkansas, you are going to notice a huge change in the temperature with strong winds developing out of the north. So your afternoon commute, your morning commute, you may need the AC. The afternoon commute, at least the last part of it, you may need the heat. The feels like temperature, it's showing in Clinton 35 and near 70 in Little Rock and 72 degrees in Pine Bluff. In northern Arkansas, it's in the 20s. I mean, that's a huge contrast with the feels like temperature. Remember, this is factoring in the wind. It's the wind chill versus the heat index, if you even want to call it a heat index. Not even sure if it technically qualifies as that. Okay, so this is at 6 p.m. Acting like a typical shallow cold air mass starts to come down the delta in the Grand Prairie. You see how that kind of noses towards the south. It's very typical. Slows down as it moves through the Ozarks and the Ouachitas, but it's making its way towards the south so that the actual temperature, the feels like temperature, is actually in the mid-60s in southern Arkansas, and I think we'll see some wind chills in the teens in the north. And yes, when you have a collision in air masses, I was talking to kids about this at Pine Haven Elementary and Bauxite yesterday, a collision in air masses, you got to watch out, but not all the ingredients are there for severe weather. That's good news. Can't rule it out, but not all the ingredients are there. So the feels like temperature this evening, if you got Friday night plans, you need to bundle up. It's going to be cold and it's going to be windy. I mean, these are feels like temperatures at about 8 o'clock, 20s, 30s, 40s. So, yeah, it's going to get cold. All right, so you have a collision in air masses. So that snow that was up in Kansas City that I showed you from my friend Ryan Hightower, it's snowing like crazy in the Show Me State up through St. Louis, those areas. Watch for thunderstorms to develop. Now, all the ingredients for severe weather just not there. Not all the parameters. But I can't rule it out. This is this afternoon, 3 o'clock. You start to see some showers, maybe a few lightning strikes here. This is never exactly perfect. Don't take it literally, but you see that. Wouldn't be impossible to get some sleet reports in northern Arkansas, maybe a snowflake or two. Would not be impossible. All right, so this is one of the things where we got to pay attention. Right along that Arctic boundary, I think that the cold air may undercut some of these thunderstorms. But anyway, so this is at, let's see, 22Z. That's at 4 p.m. in the afternoon. All right, so that's 4 p.m. That's redundant when you say 4 p.m. in the afternoon. No, it's just 4 p.m. Or you just 4 in the afternoon. Anyway, see, go off on tangents here. So here we go. There's a line developing, and there could be a strong to perhaps severe thunderstorm. Northeast Arkansas back towards central and southeast Arkansas. It's a very, very low threat, but I can't say it's zero. Whatever the threat there is, and again, it's not great, is over with by about 8 or 9 o'clock. See that? So there you go. Then the cold temperatures really come in for a day and a half. That's it. I question the duration, but that duration is just really not that long at all. But there's the snow coming down in Kansas City this morning. Thanks, Brian, for sending that to me. And yeah, look at that. Snow coming down. I still don't think winter's over. But then again, I never declare winter over. I quit doing that. I won't say it's over even in July and August. That's just not my nature. As I told you for the past, let's see, couple of months, good things are happening. No, great things are happening. And I think you know what I'm talking about. And there's just a tremendous amount of positivity and a tremendous amount of support, which I will never be able to thank you enough. And serving you for the past 2 decades in Arkansas has been a pleasure, even in this little window that I haven't been able to be on TV. It has been a pleasure serving you here, which I will continue to always do. And I am looking forward to serving you in so many different ways, giving you what you want, the weather, because we all love the weather. We're all fascinated by the weather, and I have been since I was 6 years old here in Little Rock growing up. So it always fascinates me. So that's enough. Thank you so much for your loyalty. That means a lot. And your trust. That means even more.